How's it, everybody? And welcome. Guess what? I've got some two special guests again today. It is our wonderful Joe and Lonnie Logan, and I'm excited to have you. I've got so many questions for you guys because you inspire me all the time, and every time you talk, you create more questions inside me. That's
Thanks,
what
Kurt.
you do. That's what you do all the time, and so what a pleasure. What a
Thank
pleasure.
you. Thank you.
And I know, and the reason why I want to talk to you because you care so much about people. You care about your agents. You care about the community. You care about Alaska. You care about Anchorage. You just care. And so that's why we need more people like you on this planet, and we need more leaders like you and entrepreneurs like you. So these are the
Thank you.
questions. So my question is, what do you think agents need right now? The market's changed. The industry's changing so fast. What do you think agents need right now?
Well, I'll take that from the broker side of it. I think they need broker support. I think, like you said, the market is moving quickly. When things are happening, they don't have time necessarily to wait for somebody to get back to them or not be able to leave a message because voicemail is full. When they want information, they want it and they need it. And sometimes, as a broker, I don't always have all the answers, but hopefully, I know where to direct them to get the answers. But I would say that's probably number one is they need that support, that agent or not agent, but broker input and broker's knowledge from working in the industry from a long time, especially when they're newer, coming up. Some of them, especially in a changing market, a lot of our associates are post-COVID licensees, so they don't know maybe what it's like to go and have to get a price change, or of course we're not seeing a lot of that right now, but it's just as the market kind of more normalizes, what does that look like? What does that mean? And I think they just need expertise and assistance with that. So.
I always sit there and think too that there's two theories I always use. One is the foreign language theory, is that if you don't practice your foreign language continuously every day, you'll lose it. You'll not know how to speak that fluently, and so you need to practice it every day. Well, agents are in the trenches, working hard for the commission they receive. And so sometimes they aren't able to get outside of the other things they need to learn about technology, maybe with realtors. A lot of agents will sit there and go, well, I don't need to know anything about my E&O. I don't need to know anything about, grievance or anything like that. Well, in a perfect world, you're right. But a lot of them sit there and have their nose to the grindstone and they're working hard. And every once in a while, something gets in their way and they need to be able to ask questions about it. And whether it's with grievance or any of that kind of thing with realtors or even technology, that's what I deal with a lot, is the technology part of learning something, and whether or not, first of all, is it effective and useful? And then later, how do you actually use the few, filter down the massive amounts of information we get into the ones that actually are usable and will create, a commission. Because you can go down 1,000 rabbit holes. And I think ultimately that's how we work well together, is that, I filter through the technologies part. She understands the leadership part of it. And we can kind of provide that summary version to those agents that, find a need to get direction from their leadership. So.
Mhm. So tell me about technology. We're talking about that, and so tell me about how do you and Lonnie help with agents with their challenges of technology?
Yeah. So one of the things that right now, that we're running through is AI. And boy, I will tell you what, I have to go down the rabbit hole. So I watch all that stuff, and I have a lot of things that I've actually, in my past experience as a realtor, I've went down those rabbit holes a lot, spent money that I probably shouldn't have, spent time for sure that I shouldn't have, and then came out on the other side with maybe one or two things. And so ultimately with the agents, if they come to me and they say, hey, I'm thinking about putting my name and information on shopping carts or on golf carts or on something, if they come to me and tell me that, I have to be the bad guy and say, look, this is not a direction you need to go. There's not very many people that are out there golfing that are going to buy a home. That is not what their focus is. Granted, you want to have a lot of information out there so that when they're ready, But you need to make sure monetarily and budget wise that, it's not too expensive.
Well, and the other thing too, to piggyback off of that, if you don't golf, what are you going to have in common with somebody from the golf course? I mean, you have to market and advertise in places that resonate with you, is what I would say. So, the yeah, so
And ultimately, I think that that's the fun part about being in real estate is that if golf is your thing, or you decide you want to be a philanthropist, I mean, you can go do those things that you like doing. I don't do anything I don't like to do. If I do the things I like to do, you're going to be good at it. And those referrals and that face-to-face, nose-to-nose stuff is going to pay off in the end, because you like giving or you like participating in something, and you will give your all in doing it. And that just leads to referrals. You have to work it a little bit, but those are the kind of things that I like to kind of get out of people, is what it is they like to do and what are their current like. Maybe it's they just, they have kids and they like to take care of their kids. I mean, I like to be able to focus that energy, I guess, for them. So
Absolutely. Lonnie, tell me, how do you use AI?
oh, I love AI. I tease Joe. I'm like, I tell it please and thank you, because when AI takes over the world, they're going to remember I was a nice person.
and so I've really thought that was a pretty good thing. So I've had to start doing it too, because I think she's
Could you
right.
please? I love AI. When it first came out, now it's all the rage and everybody's talking about it. The one thing that we hear, like we just were at a Region 12 conference for realtors in Montana, and we had a rebar camp, and one of the things that came up, they said, we're going to talk about AI over here. Well, the whole room went whoop over to this side of the room to talk about AI. And the biggest thing is, I want it to be authentic. I want it to sound like it's authentic for me. And so your prompts and what you're giving to it, and how you're asking it to get you whatever you're querying, whatever you're saying, out of it is only going to be as good as what you input. So sometimes people will say, well, I just don't feel like it's authentic. Joe says he feels like he's cheating, like when he was in school. I didn't realize he cheated in school. But it's one of those, I'm kind of rambling here a little bit, I'm sorry. It's one of these things that our parents were always told, you have to be good at everything. And then we were told, you have to hone your skills. The things that you're not good at, you need to work and get better at. And as we've gotten older and looked at the way things have changed, it's like, no, I'm really, like Joe's really good at technology. I'm really good at arguing. That's why I do the negotiations. So what you're good at, you hone those skills, but then you find or you hire people that are good at the things you're not, so that you're the full package. And AI just makes us be the full package, because it's I hate doing marketing comments. I can start with AI. It gets me off the white paper and some words, and I can get going with it. So it's not about it taking over, but it's about enhancing maybe a skill that you're lacking, and to be able to help you be better at what you're doing. So that's why I like it.
Wow.
So
For sure.
Do you think you've got agents in your organization that are lacking the skill of using AI, or knowing how to use it, or the prompts?
Yeah, I still believe there are. I think, they probably use Google and don't understand what the next step of AI like chat is. You can Google something, it'll give you an answer, but it won't have a discussion with you about how to make it better, how to make the answer better. And I think that really is the part that they're missing, is that they don't realize, even on their day-to-day life, like, if you have a tax question personally, or you have, there's so many things out there that you can refine it into to answer the questions. What's the best TV to buy? There are just a lot of things that people just don't have in the front of their mind to be able to ask it, and then how to ask it. And then, the authentic part is being able to, if you're like writing a marketing comments, or you need a letter written to somebody, or an email, ultimately knowing how to refine that takes practice. And I think that really is the part that just having it at the front of your mind, to be able to know it's a tool you can use. So,
and there's ways that you make it. We could spend the next 30 minutes going through how do you make it authentic to you and your voice. But we obviously don't have time for that. But for those that are with Realty One Group, you can go into the One University, and Scott Bergerman has done a ton of stuff. I mean, he is like the AI guru. I would encourage you to get on and watch his last one prime time, where he talks about how you make it authentic and how you integrate it with the tools that we have at Realty One Group. So, yeah, I just think that you need to embrace the technology and start learning how to use it, even if it's just baby steps. So,
Wow. Do you believe that there are agents in other brokers, other companies that are lacking that kind of input or training?
Oh, yeah, I do. I think that, you know, one of the things we're going to end up doing is we try to include everybody because Lonnie's, I remember when she started into the education part of real estate, she was like, I want to make the industry better. And so we try to include everybody in the trainings that we do. And so that is one of the things that we're going to try to, start with the beginning level of 101 chat GPT and try to, build everybody, show them how to build their persona and, and their, and, how they talk, how to make it more of them. So I think at some point in time, we'll probably have that as one of the classes. I can see that coming just from, some of the other experiences that we've had through chat. So
Fantastic. Everybody's been a privilege to have Joe and Lonnie again with us. As you see, they're a wealth of knowledge, great energy, great spirit. They know to laugh, they know to smile, they know to have fun. But the number one thing is they know how to care. They know how to care. And that's the number one thing. And for anybody looking for a brokerage that you need great leadership, and if you're battling with AI, I'm telling you now, I'll be calling Joe and Lonnie and say, when did you say that training was again? Could you help me? But Lonnie and Joe, I'm not even in your brokerage. Can I come to that?
Sure enough, yeah.
You've got to ask them the question because you're going to be surprised at their answer.
Yeah.
Love you guys. I cannot wait. I've got to bring you up on again because I've got a lot more questions for you. Appreciate you so much.
Thanks, Kurt.
See you later.